FUNCLE's Customs, where I find all kinds of cars in different places. I usually fix them and flip them, but sometimes I keep them. This is My Garage Revivals. With all the projects going on in the shop, I decided to take the 58 in for its paint job to Richard's Auto Body, and we also picked up Lacko's ramp truck. Hello everybody and welcome back to My Garage Revivals. Right, so yes, it is Friday morning, and yeah, before we start with anything, I just need to tell you guys that our Dodge Charger sold for quite a bit of money. So the last bid was $276,000 for it, and after the auction have deducted their 25%, obviously we got only $207,000 out. So yes, we've got a little bit of money in our pocket again. As you can see, our bank balance is looking quite healthy again. So yes, there's been quite a couple of things happening, as you can see off camera, but not really that much, because obviously I stripped the old ramp truck. We had a little bit of an accident with this in the last episode. So it was basically, the damage was the fender, the bumper, the grille, as well as the hood. So those parts have been removed, and they are currently in the back of our trailer over here. So that is everything I took off. Now, as you may know, we did salvage this fender from the donut truck over there, which I actually dragged back to the shop, because seeing as our shop truck is stolen now, we are going to be trying to fix up that one over there on what I would like to call a budget. So I'm going to see if I can find a second-hand suspension for the front, and then we're also going to replace the floor pan on the cab and just get this thing looking a little bit better. I've actually got the sandblaster outside. We're going to sandblast the fender. Obviously that fender is going to go onto our ramp truck because it's the very same fender. And then I'm going to just give it a lick of primer afterwards, and also we're going to bondo some dents out of it. And then, yeah, hopefully this fender will be good enough for our ramp truck again. In other news, we also have got new parts for the ramp truck, but yeah, we also have got Lacko's ramp truck back from the paint shop. So that is a dark red, and we have got the dually wheels for this as well. So yeah, obviously we don't have a lift available, because both these vehicles are basically held up by the lifts. So we're not going to be able to install these on camera today for you guys, because yeah, we don't know what we're going to have time for today. But we do have the heavy duty hubs that go on, and then we basically mount, yeah, I just made a mess of that. So yeah, then we mount the two wheels obviously to those, and then this will become a dually truck, which is going to give it the right offset at the back. But yes, this thing turned out quite nice, and it's basically on the normal stock suspension. So yeah, I figured, well, if Lacko was going to tow a lot of heavy stuff, we could also upgrade it for maybe later down the line. But the main part is this truck is actually, yeah, it's come a long way, if I can say the least. So yeah, we are going to try and do the interior on this thing. So as you can see, we've got black interior, and we've got a brand new cluster in there as well, and all the new door cards. We also do have got the shifter over there. Yes, I nearly missed that. But yes, as for the little Lada Wagon over here, Cyclone's car, we do have all the floor pans we need to replace, as well as the wheel wells. So that is also ready to go into this car. And yeah, so Cyclone and I did have a little bit of a chat with regards to what's going to happen with this car. So as you can see, we've got brand new suspension parts here, and I also found the steering wheel that we got in the back of the truck from Lacko. So we're going to be mounting this to Cyclone's car for him. Obviously his steering wheel was a little bit banged up. No, that's not the one. That's the one we had as well in the back of the truck. But yeah, first things first, we are going to try and get our ramp truck up and running again, so that we at least have a vehicle we can drive again. So this is a brand new hood for our ramp truck, and we also have got a new grille and a very, very neat push bumper for the front. So I decided, well, since we banged up the old parts, we're going to replace it with new ones and give this truck a little bit of a facelift. So this is actually a grille from a 1978 model, and we've got some new headlights and new blinkers, as well as, yeah, basically the grille that goes on the inside. So this is going to change the look of our Ram truck a little bit, and obviously we still need to have these parts painted, but I'm just going to try and get the thing up and running today so that it can at least be used again. So we'll sort out the paint job a little bit later on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the sandblaster first of all. I'm going to sandblast all the rust off of this fender, hopefully. And then going to give it a little bit of a wash. We're going to let it sit in the sun a bit. We're going to carry on with something else. And then we are going to see if we can get this thing painted in primer and then put our shop truck back together completely. So yeah, there's not a lot of rust, but we're going to try and get some of this paint stripped off. Right, I think that shouldn't be too bad now. Alright, so let's put that over there, and let's give this thing a little bit of a wash quick, just to get that dust off that might still be trapped on this thing. Alright, let me go around this. Alright, and let's give it a nice little wash. I also have got some new trim pieces for this, so that is also going to be going onto this fender when we are done. Alright, and then let's grab some Bondo. First of all, there are some dents here and there, so we're just gonna basically sort that out. Alright, that doesn't look too bad. I think once we give this thing a lick of paint, then it'll be good enough to go onto our truck. So we are gonna be primering it. So there's the 4 cans of primer that I had. I've got no idea which one is half or full, so that's why I brought all of them out. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start carrying parts from this little room over here over to our truck. I'm going to start with the hood because it is ready to go on. So we're going to basically get this thing mounted first of all. So I think this is going to give the truck a little bit of a different look. Now obviously I'm going to need a wrench, so let's just grab our toolbox outside. I had to use the pry tool earlier to get the trim off, so that is why it's there. Alright, so here's our tools. So let's grab our wrench over there. We're going to bolt this hood down. Just like that. Alright, and then I believe we should be able to get our grill put back together, or, well, assemble the grill rather, because it's a brand new grill. So let's assemble the grill with our screwdriver. So we've got this inner part that needs to go in here, and it's got a screw over there and one on that side. Alright, so I believe that'll secure that inner part of the grill. We're going to grab our blinker. So we've got one for this side, and that also screws down. And also the blinker on the left, we'll screw that into place. And then these actually clip into place just like that. And now we can mount our headlights. Let's just spin this thing around, try not to scratch the chrome, but yeah, this is a work truck, so it doesn't have to look perfect. And then we've got this one over here, and then we'll just bolt that headlight into place. And now I think we can go and get this thing mounted. So as you may notice, we also have got a brand new transmission laying over there. So that is a 5-speed transmission for the Ram truck. So I decided to do an upgrade on that because the one we've got in the truck currently, it's looking a little bit tired. So I'm going to swap that out. I don't know if I'm going to do it today. We'll see, maybe next week sometime if the shop is a little bit emptier, because we've got a lot going on at the moment. But yes, there's our front grille replaced, and I believe we should be able to get the bumper mounted as well. So if I can go and grab that quickly. Right, this is quite a heavy little bumper, so we're gonna see if we can get this thing fitted. I also had this chromed, so I think that is going to look quite decent. I also thought of making this thing basically matte black, but I decided it's just going to be maybe too much black. So for that reason, I just decided to go with the chrome. And then we're also going to mount our license plate, which I was able to salvage off the front bumper that we crashed. So we still have our matching license plates for the front and back. And we also have got this badge we need to replace after the fender has been fitted. So we're going to go ahead and give that a lick of primer now. And then we're going to let it sit in the sun a bit and to just dry. So yeah, hopefully this is going to cover the fender. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. Alright, so let's just get all of these nooks and crannies painted up with this primer. Be sure to get that edge over there, or what they would call the leading edge. I don't think that looks too bad. I mean, for a second-hand banged up fender, at least we saved a little bit of money on this. So yeah, as you guys know, we are busy saving up to buy a house. There is a house for sale a little further up the road, but that is very expensive. They're asking 2.5 million for the place. So yeah, that is the dream one day, to have our own house, because obviously we are staying in that little cottage and on top of the carport over there. But it'll definitely be nice for us to have our own place one day. And yes, I think our truck is going to look a little bit different, so it's not too bad. And I see the color of the primer is actually very close to the paint on the truck, so that is quite interesting that this is the original color of the truck, is this almost primer gray. But yeah, it is a little bit of a different shade. Alright, so what I'm going to do is, while we wait for the fender to dry up a bit, we are going to continue work on this interior for Lacko's truck. So it's very straightforward. We already have got a good headliner installed, so we're just going to rip out the dashboard and the bench seat, as well as the gear shifter, and then we're going to just mount all of the nitty-gritty parts. So first of all, just get this dash ripped out. It's just 2 screws, one on each side. Right over there is another screw hidden. It's almost hidden. Alright, so there's our old dash with the broken cluster as well, because obviously that cluster doesn't work. And it's also not the right mileage for the truck anyway, so we are going to pop in a brand new one we've got over here. So I think the reading on this odometer is 200,000, which is a standard thing. Alright, there we go. There's our brand new dashboard in. Let's just screw it down into place. And also come around this side. And we'll get this screwed into place, just like that. Alright, and then I think we're going to need our wrench now, because we need to remove this bench seat. And also the gear shifter will probably be removed with a wrench as well. Usually it's a screwdriver on the gear shift, but in this case it's a bolt, so we're gonna unbolt it as well. Alright, now our carpet is probably gonna be all funky, so let's just make sure that is in place. Alright, and then yeah, this is actually a good bench seat, so we are gonna keep this around. Alright, and then let's grab the new one. This side needs to go first. On the left. Yeah, we'll be able to get it in like that, probably. We'll just put that into place and be sure to tie down all of the bolts. I think it's actually a shorter way to walk this way around the truck. So I keep forgetting how long this damn thing is. Alright, so there's that. And let's unbolt the shifter. Alright, so there's the shifter, which also seems to be fairly good. Yeah, it's actually still decent, but we've got a brand new one over here that can go on. So we're gonna pop it into place over there and then zip it down. And then I think it's just let's check these window winders. Yes, they do work. We did replace the one on the other side. Right, so there's our driver side door panel. Let's get that mounted. It's just a bolt over there and one on this side. And then we'll do the same with the last panel over here, and then we will start tackling the welding work on Cyclone's car, just to give our fender a little bit of time to get dry. Alright, so there we go. That is basically the interior sorted on this truck, and it actually looks good with the black. I'll just check with Lacko if he wants the standard steering wheel, because I'm not sure if we're going to leave that one on, because we do have a stock steering wheel on the shelf over there which will also fit this truck, so it's just going to be a matter of which one we're going to put on the truck for him. But yes, so now we are going to move over to this Lada Wagon over here, or Lada Wagon. So this is going to be just the floor replacement, floor pans, and then we're going to start putting the suspension back together, because I think we've got all the parts for the suspension. Alright, so let's start with these floor pans, and hopefully we're going to be able to weld them back into place on the lift. So obviously we don't want to weld them in and they're not going to be 100% straight, but I think it's good. We've got a pretty decent spot to work on. I still had to re-weld that back, so we've got that in place. Right, let's just Alright, let's get our welding stick back on. So I wanted to move the welder out of my way. Alright, and then we'll grab this floor pan over here, get that installed. Right, so let's weld this into place. Alright, let's just start here for now. Right over there. Right, now it wouldn't do anything. Alright, and there, that is our floor pan. Both sides replaced. So next we can grab our brand new trunk floor. And let's get that welded back onto the car. Alright, and there, over there, and over there. Alright, that looks like all of them. So now let's grab our wheel well. Alright, and then that actually welds to there, and over there, and there. And then we'll just repeat it for this side. So I also did get the sandblaster out, and I sandblasted some of the rust off this thing. But obviously, once we send this thing to paint, they will also go through this whole body inch by inch and make sure there's no extra hidden rust somewhere. But I think we do have got everything. It doesn't look like there's any more rust on this whole car at the moment. Alright, so as far as the modifications to this car is gonna go, we are going to be doing bumper deletes on the front and rear. So we do not have a bumper in the front to start with anyway. So the bumper is coming off. That is part of the thing that we discussed with Cyclone. And as for the front, I'm going to be mounting this chin spoiler, which is just a snap-on piece, and it's going to be painted in matte black, as well as our hood. And we also discussed that the roof and the cowl panel and maybe the trunk and the lower part of here is also going to be matte black. But yeah, I'm just going to visualize it a little bit and see what is going to work the best. So we will figure that out as we go along, and just make sure we're not going too much black on this car and too little color. So that is something that I'm just going to have to visualize a little bit better. Maybe I'll do a little bit of a Photoshop edit and see what is cooking. So first of all, we are going to start putting the suspension at the back. So we've got brand new control arms for everything. So let's start with these arms, and then we'll take it from there basically. So if we can get these mounted, we can get our axle into place, hopefully. Hopefully the lift isn't going to be in our way. So that is my aim for this. Alright, so let's get the other arms as well. This one over here. It's a little bit hard to find a spot, but once you get it, you can get it bolted down. There's the other one. Small one, which goes over there. Just like that. And let's see if this wants to go into place. And there it is. Alright, so we'll get those 4 bolts tied down. And over there as well. Perfect. Alright, then we'll grab our shock absorbers. Make sure these are tied down properly as well. And the other one. Alright, and there we go. Shock absorbers are in. And as you know, we are going to be doing a 5 lug conversion on this car. So we do not have the front brake discs just yet. So we are going to get those maybe at the shop quickly. We might actually have to take a walk there to get those parts because I actually forgot to order them. But that is okay. It's not a huge issue. You guys know me by now. If I miss something, we can quickly go to the shop just over there and we'll buy a brand new pair of disc brakes for this. So speaking of which, we have got the brake discs for the rear. So we can get these fitted, obviously. Just like that. And we also need to get a set of brake pads for the front caliper. And we've got a front left caliper, that's good. So we also need the front right caliper. So yeah, that's actually a good thing I noticed that now, so that we can get all of these parts sorted out for this car, and hopefully we can get this thing put back on its wheels today, or at least see how the wheels are going to mount to this thing. Because then, as far as I'm concerned, this car only has got some bodywork to be done. But we can actually finish up the rear now, so I'll just finish up with the rear suspension. And then we'll see how that is going to come together. So let's get our brake pads into the calipers first of all. And then I think we can probably get our brake hoses connected up here. Because I haven't bought brake hoses for the front either. So yeah, that's sometimes something that happens, you know. You start ordering parts and then you forget some parts. Especially if you have got so many things going on in your shop and your shop truck has been stolen. Your mind isn't exactly where it's supposed to be. But yes, we are trying to make the best of a good cause here. Or the best of a bad case, if I can put it that way. Right, so there we go. We've got our brake caliper mounted. And let's get the other one fitted over here. Right over there. Let's bolt that down. Perfect. And then, yeah, let's grab our differential. So this is actually a 3.8 differential, just like the one we took out of the car. So I'm not sure if Cyclone was looking for something else, but I just decided to keep it stock so that, yeah, we don't do unnecessary modifications and incur extra costs on this build. So what am I looking for now? We are looking for the spring compressor. That is what I'm looking for. And it got a little bit of foggy all of a sudden. I hope we're not going to get rain, because we've got our fender laying outside. Alright, but first of all, let's get these two springs put back into place. Alright, there we go. So that is looking really decent. Okay, so as you guys know, also the front cross member was a bit rusty, so we've got a new one of those. But let's just finish up here at the back first, because I've nearly forgot about this rear arm. Yes, it goes over there. Let's get that bolted down. And then I believe that's everything for the rear. So I must tell you guys that we did figure out that some of these parts of the car were still good, like these two front springs. They still look fairly new, and then obviously I had to replace the parts that weren't good. So these are brand new front arms for the upper and lower parts. So yeah, I think let's start by putting these parts together quickly, and then once this is all put together, we can quickly take a walk over to the shop and just sort out our missing brake parts here. Right, so the front left is on this side, obviously. So this is our driver's side, and then we'll get the upper arm mounted as well over there. So that's the nice thing about these, these Lada suspensions. They are quite easy to work with. There's not a lot of difficult parts to get fitted to this thing. So obviously now we can get our wheel spring attached, and then our spring and shock assembly can go in like that. Well, basically the shock assembly can go in. And then we'll grab this one once we've got our arms installed on the opposite side. Did I drop the wrench? Okay, there we go. We've got our wrench back. Alright, there's the upper one as well. Just get that bolted down. And then we'll grab our spring compressor for this. And then let's grab our wrench again. Get our shock absorber put into its place as well. Let's just bolt it down there because this thing decided to tip over now. Alright, like that. Alright, and we can get our... what are these things called again? Hub carriers? Yeah, we'll get the hub carriers fitted. And now what I would like to do... Let's quickly grab our tie rods over here. So I believe one of these were still brand new. So we just had to order one tie rod at least. Alright, so now that this is put together, we can get this whole steering rack fitted over there. And then we'll just tie down the tie rods over there, just like that. Alright, so all the parts that's left on the table are basically just the hubs. And then the other parts we're going to be mounting when we get back from the shop over here, from across the road. Let's just get this thing into position. Alright, so those are also 5-lug hubs. And then, yeah, I think let's put this thing onto the car, because now everything is basically ready for this. So we've got our 4 bolts over there. Let me just get this one over there, which is a little bit tricky to see from this angle. There it is. And we should be able to see this one at the same angle. And then this one, it's over there. Alright, so that is our front suspension basically put together again. So now we should be able to get our transmission into place as well. So let's grab our starter over here. Just like that. And we do have got a brand new drive shaft over there that we can also get in. Alright, so let's get this sorted out first of all, because we've got a very nice inline 6 engine that we need to put into this car as well. So if we carry on like this, we might actually get this thing running today, but then I'm going to have to get some oil and coolant as well. There's just one thing I nearly forgot now. We've got the front brake lines we still need to buy, so I mustn't forget about that. And while I'm busy with the brakes and thinking of buying parts, let's just double check on our reservoir over here. How's this doing? It actually doesn't look bad. There's no rust on it, so I'm just gonna say that that part is basically good. So we are going to have to go and buy some parts. There's not really a vehicle we can use. I don't want to use Lacko's truck. Our Bel Air is at the paint booth, so yes, we are going to take a walk quickly. So I will be right back, and then we will get the brakes sorted on that car. Alright, so there's our brake pads. Let's get those fitted into the calipers. Alright, so this caliper came off the car. It was still good, so we're just going to reuse it. And then let's grab the brake hoses over here. Alright, so that one goes there. And then let's grab this one over here. Oh, come on. Let's just get it in. There we go. Right, let's grab our 2 brake discs. And they can obviously go on as well. And then we'll grab our screwdriver and just screw them down. Make sure they don't go anywhere. Alright, so let's come and do this. And that one as well. So now we get our calipers fitted. We are going to see how those wheels are going to work on this car. Alright, so here's the front right caliper. Alright, let's get the hose tied down and the 2 bolts on the caliper. And I'm keeping the exhaust around, but that's fine. Okay, and let's get this fitted as well. And there we go. So now I believe that is all of the suspension work. So it actually went fast. I'm actually surprised how well this worked out. But now we are going to see what these wheels are going to do on this little car. Yeah, I don't know what it's going to do if we go down with this thing. Alright, so let's bolt them into place and see if there's going to be any rubbing when we lower this thing down. Because that is my only concern with this, is whether the wheels are going to clear the arches once we put a little bit of weight on the suspension. There's not a lot of space, so yeah, this might actually be a little bit of a too wide wheel for this car. If they were a little bit narrower, just to fit under the arches, I think we shouldn't have a problem. But yeah, these are quite a bit wide. Alright, but we are going to give it a squeeze and just see what it does. We lower this thing down now, so if it doesn't look right, we are going to have to, yeah, look for new wheels and tires. Alright, so are we down all the way? We seem to be. Alright, obviously there's no air in these tires. We need to fill them up with air, but that's going to be a lot of fun now, because these valve stem seals, well, these valve stems are on the inside. Why do I think of valve stem seals now when I'm thinking about doing a cylinder head? Yeah, I must be a little bit dazed and confused, but yes, we've got the valve stems inside the rim. So let me fill these tires up with air and then we're going to have a look at this thing. Alright, so there we go. I've aired up all 4 the tires and we can clearly see there's going to be quite a lot of rubbing. So yeah, I'm going to have to see if we can find some other wheels for Cyclone. And I might actually make him an offer on these wheels. Because I think these wheels will actually work on our shop truck I'm trying to put together there. So it might actually be a win-win, because then I had to buy wheels anyway for the truck. So if these are going to fit our truck, then might as well use these ones on the truck, and then we'll get some new wheels for Cyclone. And that way it could be a fair trade, I believe. So I'm just going to leave the car lifted up, because I don't want to risk damaging the fenders or anything like that, or the actual quarter panels. So we'll just leave it lifted up slightly. So I think we are ready to put this engine in, but now I didn't get the coolant and all of that, so I'm not going to fire this engine up today. But we are going to get our shop truck put back together at least, because that is a very important vehicle for us. And we should also be able to tie down all of the wires again, make sure everything is nice and snug. And then when we are ready to fire this thing up with some fluids and everything installed, then I believe we should be golden. There shouldn't be much else to do to this car mechanical wise. We just have to get the bodywork sorted out and paint it up. Alright, so now let's see if we can get our exhaust fitted over here. So this is going to be a little bit of a tricky one. If the, yeah, I don't know if the lift arm is going to be in the way. Let's just see. Yeah, we seem to be clearing that, so let's bolt that down. And yeah, obviously now there's nothing we can do with this hole over here for the standard exhaust, because obviously this thing's supposed to have an inline 4 engine and the exhaust would come out on this side. But now, because we've got the inline 6 installed, the exhaust is coming out on the opposite side. So yeah, there is basically that. Alright, I'm just double checking quickly everything. I think that is as good as it's gonna get, because now the only thing we really need to do to this thing to get it running is basically the interior. And also there's a lot of rust on the door that I missed, now that I look at it. So yeah, that's something that I'm gonna do over the weekend, just get rid of the rust on this thing. And also we can strip out this headliner, and yeah, I might order some more parts like the side mirrors. And then hopefully by Monday when Richard opens, he will have a spot for this car, because obviously our Impala is there. Then we can get this thing sent to paint, and then yeah, when it comes back, we're just going to assemble it and send it back to Cyclone. So we'll also sort out the steering wheel and the interior once we get the car back, or once we get the interior for the car. So yeah, we need to order interior. That is also something I'm going to have to do over the weekend. So yeah, it's going to keep me busy. It's going to keep my mind off the shop truck that was stolen. So let's just basically get our fender mounted to our ramp truck that we just painted up. I think it should be dry enough now. Yeah, this is good to go. So let's pop these trims on for the time being. This goes over there, and this goes on the actual arch itself. And now we should be able to get this thing fitted and bolted down. And our shop truck should look somewhat fixed again. Alright, there we go. There's our fender. And we missed a bit of rust, but yeah, I'm not going to bother with that just yet. So, there we go. That is it's a little bit of an off color to the rest of the truck, because obviously this is primer gray. And our truck is a little bit lighter, so this is just what it's going to look like for the time being. And I think it's going to at least look a little bit better than driving around with a damaged vehicle. So as for this truck over here, I did get the inline 6 mounted that came out of our Charger. And I did have this 4-speed transmission laying around. So I actually need to continue stripping this thing off once again. So we're going to take this cab off. And then I want to see if I'm going to be able to cut this floor pan out and how bad it's going to be to do that. Because now I think we might have to take the whole cab apart for this. So if that is the case, I actually want to start getting into this as soon as possible. So let's see if we can lift this thing up again. Alright, let's put it down. I think over here is a nice spot for it. So I'll put it down here and let's see if we can get this thing stripped. I mean, I'm going to cut all of the panels apart and then we will bolt everything off this thing that we can, like the doors and also the seat and all that, the pedals, the works. And then that way I'm just going to be able to investigate all of the parts and see what is good, what is bad. So I don't think this window winder works in this door. No, it actually does. So that is a good sign. Alright, so let's put the door one side. We'll put the parts over here. This is Cyclone's bumper. We need to just pop it over there. Alright, and then let's take the other side's door off as well. Alright, and we will put this over there. Alright, so we obviously need to remove the bench seat to get the carpet out, and then we're going to get access to the bolts of the steering column. So let's get the bench seat out next. Alright, so here's our bench seat, and now we do have got a couple of options for interior colors on this thing. So we've got some of the beige parts, like the seat is still good. We've got a carpet over here which we could probably replace because it's not looking very great. Alright, and then obviously we're going to push this thing around now if we move into it. Let's just try and be gentle. Right, so this gear stick seems to be very close to breaking, so that's not good. We also have got a very bad rusty steering column, so I'm going to have to get a better one of these. I don't know if I'm going to buy a new one. Well, I guess we'll see what it costs. I mean, maybe we can just buy a brand new one. Because I think actually on our shop truck, the steering column was bad. It wasn't that bad as this one, but it wasn't brand new either because our indicators didn't work. So there was something wrong with the indicator stalk on that thing. And the pedals doesn't look too bright either, so obviously this thing has been neglected quite badly. Alright, but let's continue. We've got a master cylinder that can come off over here. which we're gonna have to replace definitely. That is, yeah, that is completely rusty. Alright, and then next up we've got our wiper motor over here. It doesn't look like we've got any wiper arms or wiper things where the wipers mount to on here. So that seems to be missing on this truck, so I'll have to get a set of those. We also have got our handbrake lever over here, which I'm not sure. Whoops. Yeah, that is the problem with these cabs now that we've taken it off. Can't really do too much going into it, so let's just set it down softly again. Right, and handbrake lever. Yeah, this might still work, but I think while we are gonna replace the floor, we might as well replace all of the bolt-on parts that are bad. So yeah, that's basically the idea. We want to try and build ourselves a nice shop truck now, because we really need one, but then again we also don't need one immediately. So it'll be nice to have one, because then I don't have to hook up to the trailer with the ramp truck to take the rubbish parts over to Steve's. This way, if we get this truck up and running, we can just throw it in the back of the bed, and then there we go and deliver the parts to Steve's. Right, so we should be getting this thing completely dismantled now. Alright, so it's still attached somehow. So let's maybe let it fall down like that. Let's just... yeah, okay, so these parts... yeah, they don't seem to be rusty. They just need a little bit of attention, cleaning up, and maybe a little bit of sandblasting. But we'll see. Alright, is there still something attached to this? Alright, so let's just take the whole thing apart. Okay, so that is quite interesting. So our floor seems to be the base of this thing. There's our firewall. So this is actually a good thing. Now we can sandblast this part separately. So let me actually put this outside, because then I can tackle this off camera, because that is definitely not something I would have to put in a video as part of content. But yeah, I still wonder why this floor pan isn't coming off. So we might have to cut this whole thing apart. There we go. Alright, so that is how you do it. So now we can order a new floor for this cab. Luckily, we don't have to buy a brand new cab for this truck. So this is basically also scrap, as well as a few other things that I took off. But yes, now that I'm looking at the time, that is basically going to be a wrap for this episode. So thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate every view, every like. And also, if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. I will appreciate it very much. But yes, until the next time, cheerio!